Have you ever spent a whole weekend binge watching your favorite show and thought, hey, what if this was just my life? No gym, no jogging, just pure, uninterrupted chill time. It sounds kinda nice, right? But what would actually happen to your body and mind if you decided to permanently break up with exercise? Let's dive into the science behind a completely sedentary lifestyle. Spoiler alert, it's not as relaxing as it sounds. Okay, let's start with the first few weeks. Initially, you might not notice much. Maybe you feel a little less energetic, or climbing that flight of stairs to your apartment feels a bit more like a workout than it used to. This is your body's first signal. Your cardiovascular fitness, which is basically how efficiently your heart and lungs supply oxygen to your muscles, starts to decline pretty quickly. Think of it like a phone battery that's as slowly but surely losing its ability to hold a full charge. Within just a couple of weeks, your VO2 max, the maximum amount of oxygen you can use during intense exercise, can drop by as much as 10%. Now, let's fast forward a few months. This is where the changes become more obvious. You'll likely notice you've gained some weight. When you don't exercise, your metabolism slows down. Your body becomes less efficient at burning calories. So even if you're eating the same amount as before, those extra calories are more likely to be stored as fat, particularly around your belly. This isn't just about how your genes fit. This visceral fat, the kind that wraps around your internal organs, is seriously bad news. It releases inflammatory substances that can lead to a whole host of health problems down the line. At the same time, your muscles will begin to shrink. It's a classic case of use it or lose it. The technical term is muscle atrophy. Without the regular challenge of exercise, your muscle fibers get smaller and weaker. You might find it harder to carry groceries, lift a suitcase, or even just get up from a low chair. This loss of muscle mass also contributes to that slower metabolism we just talked about, creating a vicious cycle. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, which means more fat gain, which can make it even harder to start moving again. And it's not just your muscles. Your bones are living tissue, and they respond to stress. Activities like walking, running, and lifting weights put a healthy amount of stress on your bones, signaling them to stay strong and dense. Without this, your body starts to break down more bone tissue than it builds. Over time, this can lead to osteopenia and eventually osteoporosis, a condition where your bones become brittle and fragile, making you much more susceptible to fractures from a simple fall. Let's talk about what's happening inside, on a level you can't see. Your blood sugar regulation goes haywire. Exercise helps your muscles use up glucose from your bloodstream, keeping your blood sugar levels stable. When you're sedentary, your cells can become resistant to insulin, the hormone that helps shuttle glucose into your cells. This is called insulin resistance, and it's a major stepping stone towards developing type 2 diabetes. Your body has to work overtime, pumping out more and more insulin to try and get the job done, which puts a huge strain on your pancreas. Your heart is also taking a major hit. Remember how we said cardiovascular fitness drops? Well, the long-term consequences are even more serious. A sedentary lifestyle is a leading risk factor for heart disease. Your blood pressure can rise, and your levels of bad LDL cholesterol can increase while your good HDL cholesterol decreases. This combination creates the perfect storm for plaque to build up in your arteries, a condition called atherosclerosis. This narrows the arteries, making it harder for blood to flow and dramatically increasing your risk of a heart attack or stroke. Your heart is a muscle, and just like any other muscle, it needs a workout to stay strong. But what about your brain? We often think of exercise as being just for the body, but its effects on our mental health are profound. If you stop exercising, you might start to feel more moody, anxious, or just ... blah. Exercise boosts the production of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that act as natural mood lifters. It also increases other neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are crucial for regulating mood, motivation, and focus. Without that regular boost, your mental well-being can suffer. Studies consistently show that people who are physically inactive are at a much higher risk of developing depression and anxiety disorders. You might also find your sleep quality takes a nosedive. Exercise helps regulate your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. A lack of physical activity can lead to difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, and waking up feeling refreshed. Poor sleep then feeds back into low energy and poor mood, creating another one of those nasty cycles. And it gets even more serious. Your cognitive function, things like memory, attention, and problem-solving skills can also decline. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, delivering vital oxygen and nutrients. It also promotes the growth of new brain cells and connections, a process called neurogenesis. A sedentary life starves the brain of these benefits. Over the long term, this significantly increases the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Think of exercise as spring cleaning for your brain, clearing out waste products and keeping everything running smoothly. So, let's paint the full picture after years of no exercise. We're looking at a significantly higher risk of chronic diseases, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain types of cancer, and osteoporosis. You'd likely be dealing with chronic pain, especially in your back and joints, because the weak muscles are no longer able to properly support your skeleton. Everyday tasks would feel exhausting. Your mental health would likely be poor, with a higher chance of depression and anxiety. Your cognitive function would be diminished, and your sleep would be disrupted. It's a bleak picture, isn't it? But here is the most important part of this entire video. It is never, ever too late to start. The human body is incredibly resilient and has an amazing capacity to heal and adapt. Even if you haven't exercised in years, you can reverse many of these negative effects by starting to move again. You don't have to go from zero to marathon runner overnight. The key is to start small and be consistent. Maybe it begins with a 10-minute walk around the block every day. Then you can gradually increase the duration or the pace. Maybe you try a beginner's yoga class online, or you start doing some simple bodyweight exercises like squats and push-ups at home. The best exercise is the one you actually enjoy and will stick with. Within just a few weeks of starting, you'll notice improvements. You'll have more energy. Your mood will lift. You'll sleep better. Over time, you'll see your strength and endurance build. Your body will start to burn calories more efficiently, your blood sugar will stabilize, and your heart will get stronger. You're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. So, while the idea of a life of pure relaxation might sound tempting, the reality is that our bodies and brains are designed to move. We are not meant to be sedentary creatures. Choosing to be active is one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your long-term health and happiness. It's a true investment in yourself. So, what do you think? What's one small step you can take today to get moving? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story and your goals. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on how to live a healthier, happier life. See you in the next one.